All right, here we go. Let me plug the joint. Men's biggest dating mistake that turns women off. Right there. Men's biggest dating mistake that turns women off. Right there. Most men introduce two different personalities to women without realizing it. This is one of the things that make women say most men are full of shit. This is one of the things that make women say, I don't fuck with nice guys. Right here. Most men are full of shit, and I don't fuck with nice guys. Why? Most men introduce two different personalities to women without even realizing it. And the funny thing is, you guys introduce these two different personalities almost immediately. Almost immediately. Because you'll meet a woman, you'll introduce the super friendly, bantering, indirect, passive guy. That's the guy she meets. Then you get her number, or you happen to get a date, right? Or set up a date and she shows up. And then you introduce her to somebody completely different, almost like some Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde type shit. Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde. What? Come on. Guys, men's biggest dating mistake that turns women off. Most men introduce two different personalities to women without realizing it. Here's the funny thing, and I talked about this before. Some men do it on purpose. Well, males, they're not men. These are the love bombing guys, the guys that try and sell women a dream. They think they understand women, but if they really understood women, then you would know you don't have to lie, right? Right? You have those guys, okay, and they have horrible dating lives because they're always getting into arguments with chicks. There's a lot of drama in their situations because they're liars, right? And then you have the other guys, many of you, who just flat out act like you don't know what you're doing, right? That's the inadvertent behavior, right? Where you're doing and or saying things without truly understanding the ramifications of what you're doing, right? Men's biggest dating mistake that turns women off. And here's the thing. I don't care if you're doing it on purpose or if it's inadvertent. Either way, it's turning women off, right? Again, most of you guys, you introduced two different personalities to women without realizing it. So here's what a lot of you guys do, especially a lot of you guys who are having difficulty even having sex to begin with, right? Or you're having sex, but it's infrequent, right? So what a lot of you guys, you're doing this, right? You're doing this. Dating behavior versus established relationships. Again, dating behavior versus established relationships. So let me elaborate. In the early stages of dating, people often present an idealized or curated version of themselves to impress or attract other people. They might emphasize their positive traits and downplay their perceived flaws. As a relationship progresses and becomes more comfortable, individuals might relax and reveal more of their authentic selves, including aspects they might have previously hidden. And that's what's happening. That's what's happening with you guys. And usually by the second interaction, either a phone conversation, texting back and forth, or maybe even you set up a date and a woman shows up, usually by that time, she knows that you're full of shit. You're full of shit. Men's biggest dating mistake that turns women off. You do this. Guys, here's the thing. Okay, let me just say this. Because a lot of you guys who listen to us, a lot of you guys, you claim that you want to indulge in casual sex encounters. You that's what you guys claim. Many of you guys claim that. Now, some of y'all might actually want meaningful relationships. But many of you, you claim you want these rosters of women. You want women you can just hit up and have sex with. Really? So, if you have a situation where you're having a regular sexual encounter with a woman or women, how might you establish that type of relationship? How might you establish that? Right? Because I'm here to tell you that it starts with the very first encounter, the very first interaction. And I'm not talking about online dating. Okay, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about you guys, when you very first meet a woman, right? And the first time you guys met was face to face. It doesn't matter where you met. You met face to face. That was your first introduction. My question to you guys is, if you're mainly motivated to deal with that young lady because you envision her and yourself embroiled in some hot, steamy sex, why aren't you establishing that in the very first encounter? Why? Why? Because if your aim is to establish a potential sexual relationship, don't you want her to see that side of you? Because isn't that the side that you need her to see so she can make a decision whether or not you're the type of guy she might want to have sex with? This is what you guys are doing, right? You're taking the boyfriend approach to casual sex encounters. And I talked about this before. You're taking the boyfriend approach to casual sex encounters. So, again, when we talk about dating behavior versus established relationships, again, in the early stages of dating, people often present an idealized or curated version of themselves to impress other people. In other words, you wear a mask. A lot of you guys, here's the thing. If you're wearing a mask when you meet a woman, do you really think a woman is going to have her mask off? Think about that. The absurdity of you men to think, well, males, right? Because men, we're not afraid, right? If you're wearing a mask, that means you are afraid. You are insecure about who you really are. You don't like yourself, right? So you can't be a man if that's the case. Now, you can grow into a man when you shed those insecurities, right? So you meet women with the mask on, and then you wonder why women are inconsistent. Women play games. You already stepped to them with a mask on. So it's only right that they wear theirs too. What do you expect? And that's the problem with these PUA types. They try and tell you guys to demonstrate your value. Again, they might emphasize their positive traits and downplay their perceived flaws. What are their perceived flaws? That they're clingy, desperate, sexually frustrated males who have difficulty talking to women. That's their flaws, but they try and conceal that. Why? I mean, how? By talking up their positive traits, what they do for work, their accolades, the fact that they can throw a party in an expensive Airbnb or a pricey Airbnb, and they can provide logistics and get broke bitches to the party, and the bitches ain't got to spend no money. Right? That's what they do. Right? And why do they do that? Why do they do that? Hold on. Right there, right here, right here. This is why they do that. Right there. This is why you guys are introducing different people to women. Fear of rejection. Individuals might be afraid that their true selves will be rejected or criticized. So they might choose to present a persona they believe is more acceptable. When you hear guys say things like, oh, come on, Zach, not all girls are going to go for that, Zach. Not all girls are down to have a one night stand, Zach. Not all girls are down to have sex without a meaningful, profound connection, Zag. What they're saying is, if I perceive that a woman might be this way, I'm going to switch how I present myself to mirror her. That's what most guys do. You think by mirroring the woman that you're going to curry favor with her, and all you're really doing is turning her the fuck off. That's what you're doing, right? Now, what else might a guy do, right? He might lack self awareness. Some individuals may simply not be fully aware of their own emotions, behaviors, or motivations. This is why we tell you guys to do what? Have a fucking plan. When you don't have a plan, you are susceptible by the actions of others. Okay, let me say that shit again. When you don't have a plan, you are susceptible by the actions of others. Meaning, if you're talking to a woman and you don't have a plan, you are susceptible to be led by her plan and by her agenda. And once a woman realizes that you're taking cues from her, for all you choosing signal niggas, right? She ain't gonna be turned on by you anyway. Because she likes assertive, take charge men. You guys aren't being that. And a lack of self-awareness is no excuse. And I talked about inadvertent behavior where you guys do things and it's not whatever plan you have for the woman or whatever plan you thought you had, it's not working out like you thought. Why? Because you never really had a plan. You just accepted the fact that the woman was giving you some attention back and that she may have went out on a date or maybe even had sex with you. And you're kind of just accepting that and kind of just taking what she gives. You're not really the one dictating anything. You're following a woman. You're influenced by the woman. Hey, women aren't turned on by guys that follow them and take cues from them, right? Again, a lot of you guys lack self-awareness. Let me just say this, and I said this before, right? When you very first meet women, you are being assessed for sexual desirability. When you meet a woman face to face and you walk up on a woman and you start asking her name, you start trying to be all nice and polite and pleasant in the conversation, she know what you're trying to do. So instantaneously, whether it's a conscious effort on her part or a subconscious one, right? You're being assessed for sexual desirability, meaning within that initial interaction, it doesn't matter if you talk to her for 2, 3 minutes, 5 minutes, or 10 minutes. Within that initial interaction, she's already formed a perception about you. So while you sitting here trying to fake it and you sitting here trying to pretend you're this nice guy and that you're not a sexual being and you're not about that, she's making an assessment based on what you're presenting. And what she's not saying, you know what? He's actually a gentleman. He's not like them other guys. That's not what she's saying. Because she knows the difference between a guy who can get pussy but ain't pressed for it versus a guy who pretends he can get pussy but he can't, but he really pressed for it. Like she can tell the difference. You can't fool women. They see you, and let's just if you don't know what a perception is, let me elaborate. Let me illustrate what I mean by when you first meet women, they form a perception about you, creating a mental representation. A mental picture is built based on limited information. Pay attention to that part. A mental picture is based on limited information such as appearance, behavior, and the context of interactions based on limited information. So that means when you very first meet women, don't you think it would be prudent of you? Don't you think it would behoove you to make your point felt during the first interaction since you guys are conversing for just a small period of time and any information that she's gathering about you, any perception that she's forming that is only going to be on that limited basis. So there's a limited amount of information for her to go on. So wouldn't you want that information to be sexual? Wouldn't you want to get that out the way? If she's making a perception about you based on a limited amount of information, wouldn't you want that to be the information that's most prudent to whatever your plan of action is? I don't know. It makes sense to me. It makes sense. See, I don't wear a mask. So any woman who attempts to wear a mask with me, I spot them. Listen to me. I don't wear a mask. So any woman who attempts to wear a mask with me, I spot them instantaneously. They're done for. The reason why you guys can't spot women who aren't meant for you is because they're wearing a mask and you're wearing one too. You see what I'm saying? And you're not even a good liar. That woman is a better liar than you. So she can pretend better than you. See, she already figured you out. You have yet to figure her out. Men's biggest dating mistake that turns women off. Most men introduce two different personalities to women without realizing it. And we're going to finish it up like this. Right? Now, this is the mindset you should be having for all you guys that are endeavoring to indulge in casual sex encounters. I'm the guy you have enjoyable sex with. Beyond that, I make no promises. That should be how you carry yourself with women. I'm the guy you have memorable, pleasurable, enjoyable sex with. Beyond that, I make no promises. That's how you should be moving if you have some game to you. Now, here's the thing. Number one, to stop making the mistake that you guys are making, right? To actually step to women with some sexual confidence, right? Where you actually trust yourself. And that's all confidence really is. You trust yourself. Whatever you're saying to women, however you're conveying yourself, you trust in what you're doing. You believe in it. So if you don't believe in it, the woman never will, right? Number one, you need a plan of action not influenced by women. Your plan should never be influenced by women. This is the mistake that some guys make. They will meet a woman, or they will meet women rather, and they will instantaneously categorize women and say, she's the kind of chick I can date. She's the kind of chick I can just fuck right now. And my thing is, how do you know that woman's the kind of woman you can date? Why? Because she's prudish, maybe? She doesn't come off as promiscuous as this other chick. She's dressed more modestly. What makes you think she's any different? What, because she presents herself different publicly? Don't you know these women are the same privately? Case in point, I met a young lady years ago. Right when I met her, right when I was introduced to her, there were certain attributes and characteristics that she exhibited that made me say to myself, right there, she's the kind of chick I definitely want to see about. I want to see about this chick. She got me curious, right? So there was things about her that I don't typically identify in other women as quickly. So she had my curiosity. But guess what? She is still like all the other women. She is not special because I identified traits sooner in her than I typically do with when I do with other women. No, I don't know this chick. I don't know if she's a good fit for me. I don't know if she's going to be able to perform like I need her to perform for whatever spot that she might want. I don't know. So I still got to put her through the paces. I still got to treat her like the chicks I'm just fucking, because I'm just fucking her until she can show me that whatever I thought I saw, that I can consistently see those traits and attributes months and years later. I need to be able to see the consistency in that. But I need to see more. The problem with a lot of you guys, you start separating chicks based on who you think they are. And because you step to them with a mask, they got one on too. So you think you got this virtuous good girl who you could potentially date, and you're trying to separate her from the other chicks, not realizing she ain't no different. So your plan of action is influenced by the woman. No. Whatever your plan of action is, you need to follow through with that plan no matter what woman you're dealing with, no matter what she is showing you. She is the same until she's proven over an extended period of time that she's not the same. Right? Number two, never exchange contact information with women who have not consented to your plan. What is your plan? If you tell a woman, hey, why don't you come visit me? Why don't you take my number? When you got some time, hit me up, come visit me. If she ain't trying to come see you, does it make sense to really exchange contact information? If you're trying to set up a date and she's like, oh, I don't know, maybe, does it make sense to exchange contact information? No. The only time it makes sense to exchange contact information is when you have told the woman what it is you're trying to do, and she says yes. Not maybe, not we'll see, not I'll get back to you, not I'll think about it. When she says, yes, I would love to. Now you exchange contact information. It makes sense. But you have to make sure that whatever it is you want to do, she agrees to it. Why? So when she shows up to do the thing, you don't do this. Zach, you don't do what? You don't introduce her to two different personalities. Stay consistent. If you want to date her, then you need to consistently show up as the guy who wants to date her. You can't come across as the guy who wants to date her, then come across like the guy who's simply just trying to fuck her. That won't work in most cases. You're showing inconsistency in character. So if you're talking to a chick like you're really trying to get to know her, then on a date, all you're talking about is fucking her, she's looking at you like, where did that other guy go? The guy who was asking me about my life and about my day and about my dreams and aspirations. Now you're on a phone or you're on a date and you're not talking like that no more. You're trying to get straight to the pussy. Okay, most women gonna look at you and be like, nah, buddy, because you're introducing two different personalities to women and you're doing it in short order. And you wonder why you struggle, man. Right? So, number 3, during the first interaction, guys, and I said this, women have formed a perception about you. You are being assessed for sexual desirability. Okay, number 4. Number 4 right here. This is about you being influenced by women. Believing that a woman's perceived demeanor or her prudish tendencies, which refers to the habit of being excessively modest or easily offended by things considered improper, especially sexual matters. You believe women who respond in an offensive manner, you think they don't get down like that. I'm here to tell you they have one night stands too. Here's the difference. A lot of women who act prudish, do you know what they do? Like when it comes to like public displays of affection, like they're not the kind of chicks that be making out in the middle of a dance floor with you grabbing all on their ass. You have chicks that don't move like that. They don't like all of that. But once you get them like in your car or you get them someplace a little more intimate, a little more private, they with all of that. They just don't like doing that in front of everybody. So y'all make the mistake of thinking because a woman acts a little prudish that she don't like sex. No, she loves sex, just like the other girl, right? Guys, when you grow up and you become a man and you actually start dealing with women away from the internet, and I know I'm being a little condescending and facetious, right? But when you actually deal with women, you're gonna understand that you can have two women who are sexually attracted to you and they both want your dick now. Woman A is grabbing and groping and fondling you. She can't keep her hands off you. And it doesn't matter that you guys are in public, right? And everyone can see her grabbing on you. She don't care. You're gonna have another woman, she won't grab all on you, but she might get real close to you. But when you guys get in a little more intimate setting, she is just like the first girl, grabbing all on you. The difference is she doesn't do it in public like the other chick, but they both want your dick. Don't be fooled by the public demeanor of a woman. Once you broach the topic of sex, she'll show you who she really is. Peace.